Right then, United are getting linked with not many players actually in this window, but one that we have been linked with excites me, and that's Bryan Mbuemo. So obviously at Brentford, he's 25 years of age. He kind of plays as a right winger, but he could also play as a forward or even a left winger. And I think he could play in one of those number 10 roles for United. He is known for his pace. He is known for agility and also endurance. And he has shown some ridiculous consistency in the league this season. 13 goals in 23 appearances, showing that he's got the goal-scoring instinct as well as creativity. He's got the ability to assist, it's worth noting. He has several key passes per game. His creativity is beginning to match some of the very best in the league. And he is beginning to show the sort of signs that ascend towards being his peak. Now, when we've played him, we've identified him as being the threat and being the sort of star player for the opposition. And he's starting to really look like he's outgrowing that small pond at Brentford. I think he's fantastic taking players on 1v1. Obviously uses quick feet and his top-end speed to create that sort of space. He's got a very high work rate, which makes him valuable in both attack and defence. Presses from the front, which obviously is how Brentford play. They are very aggressive in that sort of stance. And he can operate pretty much across the entire front three, which I think makes him the perfect kind of candidate to play in one of those sort of number 10 positions. I think the tactical flexibility that he shows is really important. Now, he's not perfect. There are areas for improvement. And while he does contribute defensively, I think that's one area that he can absolutely improve upon, especially if he's going to play in a system that requires a lot more from those wing-backs or wingers or number 10s defensively. Now, as we know, Amorim does like to line United up in the 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 if you prefer, where those wingers or attacking midfielders play a critical role in creating and finishing chances. And Mbuemo is very direct, and he does have the ability to cut inside, which suits this setup, whether he was played on the right-hand side of it or the left-hand side of it. But he could also play as a wing-back, which I think is something that maybe people aren't considering. His pace would stretch defences, and I think he could create space for players like Bruno to maybe underlap him. Other central midfielders could get forward and exploit that. The work rate that he's got would contribute to it being a very high-pressing game, the way Amorim wants to see it played. He could be phenomenal as a channel runner in this system. I think it also makes him extremely adaptable as a potential out-and-out centre-forward. If he was deployed centrally, as either the left or right-sided centre-half, the level of creativity that he's got and the running that he's got would absolutely complement any forward that you wanted to put alongside him. If you wanted to play Xerxes in the number 9, you would see Mbuemo kind of slingshot past him, and Xerxes got the ability to find him on the run. If you played Højlund there, both of them have got in behind threat. You could play him there. He's got the sort of in possession ability that allows him to roam, to link up play, and to go where the output is at its most productive. I think his output would explode if he joined Manchester United. And I think he's very similar to how Amorim has used what I would call versatile forwards in the past. The big thing that stands out is the work rate. And he seems like he's got a development mindset about him as well, which I think aligns well with Manchester United, which has got a bit of a tradition of nurturing and expecting high performance from its players. At 25, he's probably at an age now where he can offer immediate impact, but also develop and add another level to his game. The versatility that he's got means that he could be used in several different roles depending on match tactics or providing depth and flexibility to the squad. And I think he could be an excellent addition to the starting 11. If Ruben Amorim sees him fitting in to his various sort of tactical setups, I think that blend of skill, of speed, of work rate would be very beneficial. And I think his success could hinge on being adaptable to Ruben Amorim's systems. Competition for his position isn't really there, which means he could freely sort of adjust and adapt to the expectations of playing for a club like United. It would also stop him going to a potential rival and strengthening them if we signed him, which is a genuine concern, I think, with a player of this level of ability. If he went to Arsenal, he would score an absolute bucket full of goals, and he's rumoured to be looked at by Arsenal as well as United. There's a couple of other places looking at him as well. I don't think he's going to cost too much. Him being a Premier League player means that he won't be cheap, but I think you've got a Premier League proven player, someone who brings the sort of attitude, work rate, and goal threat that this team needs. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer. I think this is one of those signings that you get done and you wonder why you didn't do it earlier. I think he's all the right stuff to improve Manchester United. And he's not a big name. And I think those days are past where we used to sign big names because they were big names. I think he's the right stuff. And that's what we need to be bringing in. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And we'll see if we can get this one over the line. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.